At Your End Step is brought to you by Comic Town and BCW Supplies. Hello, and welcome to At Your End Step. My name is Morgan. I'm here with Dave.
Hi.
And Mike has the night off, but we do have a couple special guests. We have Bobby and Eric joining us from the finalist table of Star City Games Cincinnati. How you guys doing today?
It feels weird being here without the person that won the tournament for us.
Yes,
almost.
We did get hard carried.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Obviously, Xander is not here. I could not make it or didn't want to come. I'm not really sure, and I can't blame him either way.
Classic Xander.
And he was the modern seat. But we are thankful that you guys are here, and we'll definitely talk a little bit about probably a lot about Star City Games Cincinnati. But first, we do have some community topics to kind of discuss, and then move into our competitive segment. Excuse me.
Can I just say real quick too? These are the last two Cube Invitational winners as well.
This is true. This is monumental.
So.
That's a lot of power.
See, Mike's not here because he won the previous two, so we replaced him with the last two. Winners,
there you go. This absolutely makes sense. So. Well, let's get started with our community topics. So, the Magic Arena NDA has been lifted, so people are streaming it. If you have been in the beta, you are allowed to discuss it at length. And I think most of us, if not all of us, are in the beta, except for Eric, right? You're the only one that does not have a beta key, unfortunately. So we thought that we would discuss some of our thoughts. Obviously, we're going to be talking to Mike, hopefully next week or the week after, about this as well, because it's a pretty big thing, and he's got some pretty interesting thoughts about it.
He's got some strong opinions.
Some strong opinions. So I guess I can start with it. I haven't played, in all honesty, too much of the beta, and what I have played is promising. It's not perfect. It's kind of how I'm sitting with it. I don't think the economy is very conducive. I think that there are a lot of better examples of how you can do a CCG economy that is better. So that's probably like my biggest gripe with it. It is a bit laggy, but it is also a beta, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect. But I think for the most part, it's still Magic. You still have the base rule set within the game, which I think is important. And you can go all the way to full control mode if you want. You can do a lot of things, and obviously once we have a real format on there, right now we have like two block standard, which is not really real.
But real fun, though.
It's real to me.
It is interesting because you do get to have access to highlighting certain cards that kind of get outclassed by the Kaladesh block, which is an absurdly powerful presence within the standard format as it stands. So that's kind of nice. But overall, I think it's promising. I think it's a good direction. I don't think it's perfect, and I think a lot of people just want to. I think a lot of people just don't want to give it a chance, and they just want to write it off right away. While I think we literally just had this interaction with Dave's daughter, and Dave was saying that his daughter liked it because she likes all things digital. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. Like, how is that? Like,
she was actually interested in watching me play. And
right.
Normally, she's like not. So.
And we're literally talking about like people of Dave's daughter's age that are going to be interested in Magic in the future. And if you don't have a way to entice them, they're not going to get hooked on the game. And they're going to look to the Hearthstones, the Hexes, the
mainly
Eternals.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, mainly Hearthstone. But the other the designers and the developers are already beating them to the punch. So WotC needs to get on the ball with this. And if you're someone that is disinterested because of the way that it looks aesthetically, you are you're probably in a growing minority of people who feel that Magic has to look a certain way or feel a certain way visually or aesthetically to still be Magic, because this is still Magic. In my eyes,
I think the gameplay was still felt like Magic. I mean, like had all this, all the steps and everything, and some people had a problem with like the auto tap feature.
Sometimes it's like a little rough.
Yeah, which like you can turn off if you really want to. So I don't know. I've played a couple games, and they're just you start out with the pre-constructed decks. I didn't bother like changing it or anything. I just wanted to play a couple games just to see how it went, and I didn't hate it. Like I don't know if it's for me ultimately, because I'd rather play Magic Online, which like better, it's better mirrors like a real game of Magic, I guess, with sideboards and stuff. But I don't hate it.
I think once I can spend like $20 and like build a deck, I assume it won't be too expensive to buy packs in this game because it has to compete with stuff like Hearthstone. And then I'll feel a lot more like it's Magic. Even like playing Ixalan Block Constructed in the before the new set came out, it was different enough from Standard, and it felt fun still. You were playing games of Magic and all that, but I like it a lot.
Do you have any opinions?
I played it twice. And
yeah, well, as much as me. There you go.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
I haven't played it enough to really have an opinion on it.
There was enough update in like how the games played out with the new release that like cards like Treasure Map felt better. Like playing them felt better. I know.
Okay, so they actually updated like
your stops can be different, and you can like mark where you're stopping instead of skipping like your upkeep like step. You can like click to stop on it now. That's
Oh yeah, I remember you used to not be able to stop in your upkeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like early on, like when we first got like a glimpse of it, like when they showed it on stream, and I think a lot of people were concerned about like, are you going to be able to play like real games of Magic? Like, are you going to be able to like set the stops where you want and like customize it like how you want to? And I think like as we go on here, we're seeing that like yes, they are. It is still in the beta, like you said, Morgan, and like that is something that they're still working on, obviously. So that makes me more hopeful for it. So I don't know. I mean, I could see myself playing it. Right now, it's not looking too likely, but I could see a world where it's.
I can't say I've ever had fun playing Magic Online, but like playing Arena, I've actually had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like there are definitely instances where it is fun to play Magic Online when like there's Cube or something like that. Like that format is fun, but I don't think interacting with the program you could ever classify as fun. Like
you have to sit in this client and play.
Yes,
it's a fun format.
This is the tax that you pay in order to currently play Magic Online for certain formats. Pretty much most of the real ones, all of the real ones. And I feel like Arena can change that. Arena can divert into being like fun and entertaining. So we'll see where it goes. I think that if you are someone that is against it and doesn't want to like participate, like is in the beta but doesn't want to participate in like the feedback process, I think that you should. I think that you should give it a shot and continue to see where the product goes and develops. Nothing's perfect out of the gate. Hearthstone wasn't perfect out of the gate.
It was close.
Well, you give it to Blizzard. Blizzard's good at making something that's really highly polished, and like they've always been good at that. At least for the past X amount of game releases, and I think that is not something that we've seen direction wise from any of the Wizards of the Coast sort of co-produced or any sort of games that they've been attached to. And
what about Puzzle Quest?
Maybe Puzzle Quest. But that's just a Magic skin over a game. It's a little bit different, but as far as like actual Magic, so we'll see. I think that people should be involved. If you want something to be different about it, then be involved with it and give your feedback. But that's kind of my opinion on the whole situation. So let's go ahead and move on to some changes or a new format basically coming when Dominaria releases called Brawl. So this is going to be a new casual format. It's going to be Commander, basically. It's going to be standard legal sets with the standard ban list in place as well. And then
Oh, rats can't play Sealy combo.
you can't. And then it's going to be 60 card decks as well.
Yeah, so it's 60 cards, 30 life, no commander damage.
Yeah, no commander damage because you can have a planeswalker as a commander.
Yes,
which is the important distinction between a regular commander set for you, except for like a 5 that can legally be your commander due to the 2014 commander decks, I believe. But yeah, so this is going to be something that is, again, comes along with Dominaria. It's going to be supported on even Magic Online on. It's going to be something that's going to be a real. It's if you want to play it, you will have ways to do so. And
I know Eric's really excited about it.
I can tell it on the look in his face. You can't see it at home, folks, but he's chomping at the bit to make all of the sweet Brawl decks.
I'm gonna make a Brawl.
Stop it. You're
Brawl.
You're a monster. Don't do that to anyone. But I don't really have that many opinions on it. It's probably not something I'm going to investigate, personally. I think that it's something cool if they can integrate it quickly within Magic Arena that we just got done talking about, because that is a format that can benefit of having a singleton format. Because getting 4 of a card can be really hard currently, but getting 1 of a card a little bit more feasible. And so if we can get like a whole standard set, which would be a lot easier when standard rotates theoretically, but get an entire set in there and be able to only need 1 ofs and start laddering with it, then hey, that's a good way that you can have something that doesn't necessarily change a whole lot, that you can grind out packs with, cards with, whatever. I think that it's a way that people can have an easy entry point into the format as well, instead of having to go through and like draft, which takes a lot of time to get good at, and can be over time cost prohibitive theoretically. You could pick up a
Scarab God.
you could pick up a Brawl deck, which depending on what you want to build may be fairly inexpensive, and kind of get into playing a constructed format rather than having to learn limited. But it's something that's different. It's new, and I think that since it's being supported, that it will be less of a tiny leaders sort of situation that we're looking at.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not saying it's going to like set the world on fire. It's a rotating commander format like that can only be so exciting. But whatever, it's something new. Like I'm gonna give it a shot.
That's what those commander players love is rotation.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It's like their
sure.
favorite.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's why
the
they.
spoil deck that you spent all this time getting.
Nah.
That's gonna rotate. No. So when I said like Arena might not be for me, I can confidently say that Brawl is definitely not for me. But I mean, it's cool that it's like a Commander Light for people that maybe are newer and they don't have like a giant collection, or they don't know like all the older cards. It's like, okay, we'll start small, with this format, and then if that's something that you like, and you can kind of move up onto Commander, if that's your thing. But I've never much been into Commander, so I can't see this being a thing for me. But
You guys will get into Commander from time to time. Do you think you'll?
Oh yeah, the friend group for sure. We will be in Brawl. 100%.
You guys will like have all these really sweet decks, and then like I'll come over at one time and I'll have a Scarab God
And you'll
deck,
be banned.
and I'll be banned.
Just like regular EDH.
Yeah.
One game, banned. Never allowed playing again.
I think I've played 2 games of Commander with you guys, and then that's
Not playing with
it
you
for the
again.
night. I just have to sit it off and watch.
you guys consider Pauper a casual format? It's kind of like borderline, right?
It's
like,
close. It's
Yeah, I think it's
fun.
getting there, but for right now,
They just have to like
there's just not
ban
enough
Gush,
events.
and then it's a reasonable constructed
Yes.
format, I think.
Gush is busted.
Yeah, it is. But like, so I play a little bit of Pauper, and I play a lot of Cube, and that's it for me for casual formats. It's like it's only so much I
Yeah.
can do. So.
Basically, just play Combo Cube, I think, is the only casual format that I'll play.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like the casual format for serious players.
for degenerates.
Yeah.
No, we had that Scars Cube for a while. That was really fun.
Yeah, Scars Cube's great. The double Cascade Bloodbraid Elf is nice.
For those of you who don't know what that, it doesn't mean like a Scars Mirrodin and then that sort of
Scars block cube.
Yeah, it's not Scars block cube. It's basically you take pre-existing cards that are varying levels of good and or bad, and modifying them in some facet.
Yeah, it's like Cube, but you add like ability word stickers to cards.
Correct.
And they become degenerate, and it's super fun.
Right. And I think the only one version I've played of this is like Bad Card Cube. Like they've taken a bunch of notably
Well, that's
bad cards
should
and
try
added
that.
keywords to make them absurd.
That's awesome.
I could
That's
talk
pretty
about that
sweet.
cube for hours.
Yeah.
But it's a very very interesting format.
I've
to
only
say
heard
the least.
stories, and I don't know. I don't know how fun it would actually be.
It
might
was
be fun
fun to
once or
it was
twice.
fun to build. Like
Yeah.
at the point where it is now, it's just like only Eric likes playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like the best cube you could possibly have. Only you have fun playing
It's
it.
perfect.
Great. I'm glad I've alienated all of my friends from this process.
It's very fun until someone's like Goblin Guy turn 1, and then you read the text of it, and it has the regular stuff, and then Exalted and Landfall draw card, and then you're like, oh, I lost. We're dead to this Goblin Guy.
It's like, yeah, you thought you were dead on turn 1 to Goblin Guide before. It's like now it's just
It's a 3/3.
just scoop up. Yeah, just go to the next match.
That draws a card
You know,
How do you feel about this Llanowar elf that costs no mana and makes 2/1/1 Eldrazi Scion tokens?
Black Lotus.
Is that good? But
Well, cool. So, since we the next thing we wanted to kind of talk about is since we've gotten Jace's spellbook, a lot of notable names on Twitter and social media are posting their signature spellbook of 8 cards. And some of these have ranged from the completely like callable all the way to the hilarious. My favorite ones have so far been why are people still doing this? So we of course are going to embrace that and still continue to do
Yeah,
this.
we're just gonna beat it down.
Yeah, for sure. But we thought it'd be a fun thing to do, and next week we will get Mike's. Don't worry, you will be able to hear him extol about the 8 specific cards that identify him as a human
Can I
being.
do Mike's for him?
You can try, and he can tell you how many you get right.
All right. I'll start off with Mike's right now. Young Pyromancer,
Yep.
Chandra, the Firebrand,
Chandra Firebrand.
Chandra the
That card's
Firebrand,
terrible.
so bad.
Stormbreath Dragon,
Sure.
Chandra's Phoenix,
Yep.
right? Probably Rekindling Phoenix.
Does he only play red cards?
Only Phoenixes and Chandras.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Other than that, maybe
Okay.
like Splinter Twin. or
Sure,
something.
really like it.
Good list. Good solid 8 cards
It's probably,
right there.
it's probably got half of them.
Well done.
You're doing yours now, aren't you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. All right, I'll do mine.
Please.
I'll do
Yeah,
mine.
everyone before
so,
me.
So there's 2 that you might be surprised, and then the rest are like, yeah, that's of course. So my first 2 are Armageddon and Lin Civi, Defiant Hero.
Fun.
Those were from the early days. Yeah, those were from the early days. So like my first like real competitive deck that I played a lot was the like Brian Kibler like Red Zone deck from back in the day. It had like Blastoderms and like Sapling Burst and Armageddon and stuff. So that was sweet. So Armageddon was like one of my favorite cards because I was just like, man, this card just wins the game every time. This is awesome. And then played a lot of Rebel decks also like back in the day. So
Isn't that the only deck you can play for a while?
I mean, you could play other things. but
No.
it was definitely like.
But if you wanted to win your
busted
FNM,
deck. Yeah. And then the rest of my cards are basically blue cards. So I got Cryptic Command and Jace, the Mind Sculptor, which when those cards were legal in Standard, I just played mono Cryptic Command, mono Jace decks. And then the rest are Lightning Bolt, and then the triad of Snapcaster Mage, Delver of Secrets, and Young Pyromancer. So,
Very exciting.
so. Honorable mention, Scalding Tarn.
Mine starts off with Deathright Shaman and Lightning Bolt for obvious reasons. Corsair Crewfix, play that card all throughout Standard and a lot of Modern. Thoughtseize, same thing. Collected Company, Pack Rat, Tarmogoyf, and Doomblade. I play that card through Eldrazi Winter.
Kills Eldrazi's.
It kills all the Eldrazi's.
Definitely.
None of them are black.
Good stuff. Is that all 8 of your cards?
That is all 8 of my
Alright.
cards.
My 8 cards are Knight of the Reliquary, which is really fun. Kitchen Finks, which I've played a ton of in various Birthing Pod and Collected Company decks. I Wish Visionary is the next card. I wasn't open playing elves many moons ago. Birthing Pod is also on the list. I foiled that deck out 2 weeks before they banned Birthing Pod. It was really exciting.
Yep, of course.
Sphinx of the Chimes is an obscure Ravnica card I have on my list. Once it came out, I spent 3 FNMs in a row trying to build Sphinx of the Chime decks where I killed my opponents with Laboratory Maniac. And it happened one time in 3 FNMs, and it was probably the greatest Magic accomplishment of my entire life.
What does that card do?
You could discard 2 cards that have the same name to draw 4 cards.
Oh, baby.
So it was not.
It was high in mana cost, right?
It was 6 mana. It was a 6 mana 4/6, I believe. It was very, very bad.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember that one.
Yeah. The next one is Fortune's Favor, which is the bad Fact or Fiction that came out before Glimmer came out that we were convinced was good. So me and my buddy Patrick went to an open playing a deck that Eric had built 3 days before.
Well, apparently R&D thought that card was good as well because they made it into an FNM promo.
Yeah,
and
it was-
nobody ever wanted it.
I did. I had a lot.
You could have all mine. I probably had like 5 of them.
Yeah. The next card on the list is a Johnny Vengeant, which again
card.
played a ton. And then at the first pre-release I've ever played in was the Rise of the Eldrazi pre-release, and like Patrick Chapin was there, so people were like, "You play against him, get a pack if you won." And I ultimated in a Johnny against him at like I don't know, I was like 15. I was really excited about it. And he conceded. He's like, "There, you got it. Here you go, man." And then the last card on my list is Argul's Bloodfest because it's the second best card in Standard.
A new edition.
Yes.
All right.
So, real quick before you do yours,
Yeah, okay.
I gotta say I was also at that pre-release, the Rise of the Eldrazi pre-release, and I played against Sam Stoddard. Again, the pre-release, and my deck I had what was the equipment that gives Death Touch and Lifelink?
Basilisk Collar.
Yeah, I have Basilisk Collar, which is like absurd. And he's just like, "Oh yeah, Jace the Mind Sculptor." It's like, oh,
Oh, we're dead here.
Makes sense.
I guess it was the World Wake.
Yeah, that would have to be World Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good memory.
But yeah, it was a good memory.
That's
I was
pretty
just
good.
like, "Oh yeah, is that card even good?" Yeah, it's good.
Huh, weird.
But yeah, I do have mine. Mine are in no particular order. But of course, except for the first one. The first one's a Acidic Slime. Acidic Slime's my favorite card in Magic the Gathering at this point in time.
That's beautiful.
It makes me sad because like I always think I'm gonna get modern decks so I can like somehow play like a one of Acidic Slime somewhere, and I still haven't done it yet.
I
but
know, we always have to like talk you off the ledge. We're like, no, man, just
You can't
just
build another
let it go.
Hoogland deck.
some of my favorite memories are playing like Junk Reanimator with
Blowing
Acidic
up all my
Slime.
opponent's lands.
It's just perfect. It's just the Swiss Army knife of green creatures.
You can play
and
Ponza now.
trust me, I don't think I have it considered yet. Don't think I have it. My second one is Cavern of Souls. A lot of mine are not old.
You're a bad person.
But Cavern of Souls allowed me to play one of my favorite decks in Standard, which was Naya Blitz. And that deck was great. It was, I think, one of the decks that I built and played at FNM and just had a bunch of fun playing it, hands down.
I hate Cavern of Souls. That's on my bottom 8 cards of Cavern of Souls is why I can't play blue decks in Modern anymore.
Yeah, and
They
then
just name Eldrazi and then I lose.
next up we have Keswick Wolf Run. Another favorite because of Wolf Run Ramp, which is one of the earliest decks that I think I've played in the format. And I've just really enjoyed making my Primeval Titan like just kill people. It already did a good enough job, but really, really doing it. And I think it was the first deck that I played that like I top 8'd anything like worthwhile, which is like an IQ, but it still felt like a significant accomplishment to me. I don't care. Next is Huntmaster of the Fells. This is a card that I have like a personal memory attached to it as well because I had a birthday party. This is when I first was still kind of getting into Magic, and we had
You had a Magic themed birthday party?
we had a
you have
this
a
was
Master Cake?
this is with my
It was Primeval Titan.
this is the Magic group I had before branching into more competitive players, but this is sort of my casual group, and we had a draft party for my birthday, and I got to open a Master of the Fells, and I literally won the thing. Now
Beat all your casual friends.
Yeah, I did. I
play this mythic rare.
To be fair, I was still fairly casual myself at this point in time, so it was fun. It was a good time, and also I played the crap out of that card when it was in Standard and Jund, and yeah,
as you should have.
And I played it in Modern and Jund, I think. So yeah, good times.
People still play it.
Yeah,
in Modern for some
reason. But, now the Bloodbraid Elf is legal. Less so, unfortunately.
It's still top 4 GP Madrid, right? They played no Bobs, 4 Bloodbraids, and Hunt Master Glorybringer.
Oh, sure.
Fair enough.
Okay, wow. Yeah, I think we mentioned that deck.
5th is Goblin Guide, because burn, and you just gotta get him dead.
I'm a big fan of burn now.
Yes.
We've converted to burn fans.
Saying not the version that draws you cards and
yeah.
What was the other ability on that?
Exalted.
Exalted.
Oh, Exalted.
Exalted Goblin Guide.
3. Yeah.
And Goblin Guide leads the way on that, so that's just why it's in there. Next up is another modern favorite, Karn Liberated.
Oh man, I hate your list. I am very against your list.
It's not surprising.
Morgan got in my brain. He's like, "This is all the cards that Dave hates. Put them all in here. Let's put Thought Not Seer as the last card."
Because you got to respect the father. You got to put him on the list. So Karn gets a spot. After that, Bob, you'll like this one, is Birthing Pod.
Oh, it's a good one.
I didn't play it. I only played it a handful of times in Modern, but I played the
Did you
crap.
play it foiled?
No, I didn't.
Amateur mistake.
I didn't make that choice.
The trick is to foil it 2 weeks before.
2 weeks before, yeah, I understand. But I played so many Birthing Pod decks in Standard. I remember Nyapod and 4-color pod, or what might have been Teamer Pod. I don't know. Any sort of pod deck that existed, I definitely played in Standard, and I just liked potting out Elish Norn. That's some of my fondest memories with that card. So good times. And lastly is Elspeth's Son's Champion. Because I know that I played a lot of Standard during Theros block, and I was trying to think of what's a card from that Standard season that I just remember I just always playing this card just feels right. And it's definitely Elspeth's Son's Champion. I played it in the red white Pyromancer deck that Mike built, and it was disgusting there, and played it all the time in Abzan, and it was just the Trump and the Abzan aggro mirrors. Just a fantastic card. Not a lot of history necessarily, but this is kind of the cards that speak to me personally, and obviously aggravate Dave.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind Elspeth, and that's probably going to be on Mike's list as well.
Oh, probably.
Reasons other when his opponent plays Elspeth.
Yeah, being able to, he has a special memory of Elspeth because he got to kill something that should never be killed by a Planeswalker with it, and feels pretty great when he gets to pull that off. So, yeah. All right.
Well, I feel like all your lists were better than mine. Mine was just stupid white weenie cards and then a bunch of blue cards, and you guys were like, "Oh, I got all these stories behind all these cards." I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just played a lot of Delver. I don't know what to tell you. All right, got cryptic commands.
Are you guys ready to have the stupidest discussion ever about handshakes? I
suppose we have to do this because the internet decided that we need to talk about handshakes.
So if you are clueless about this debate, feel lucky, and unfortunately, you're going to have to listen to us explain it to you. Basically, there was a match that was streamed on Star City Games Cincinnati. It was Ben Nikolic and another player who I have, of course, forgotten their name. And Nikolic ends up handily dispatching his opponent, and while trying to, doing the typical end of game stuff, he goes in for the handshake and gets no cert. And this is on stream, so of course the vocal internet flew into a rage about how this person was.
The chat just go.
I can only imagine, but there were Reddit threads going up, and people were crucifying this gentleman for not shaking another person's hand after losing to them, and it was absurd. And there were plenty of voices on Twitter that were like, "Oh, you always shake hands," or what have you. And since then, I think Nicholas said that's just good sportsmanship. That I would do that regardless. And I know the person that the other side of the coin, they did release a video on Reddit.
Jeez,
it's super serious, guys.
On their drive home, it was just hey, Like, I was pretty heated, and his main argument is that the way that his Magic culture kind of dictates that handshake is the loser sort of dictates the end of game procedure, as it were. So the loser would be the one that would initiate the handshake, and if none was initiated, then none would be provided by like a winner.
Usually I just like wait 5 seconds, and if they don't shake my hand, I shake their hand.
Sure.
Eric, you just like spit at people, right?
On their playmat.
He kicks them under the table.
I think like if you are like an absolute in any way, shape, or form, like one way or another, you're probably not right. There are plenty of reasons.
There's no right or wrong way to approach this. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, like, if you're someone who's like, oh, you always shake the hand, or like you never shake your hand, then shake your opponent's hand at the end of a match, like you're wrong, because some people just don't like being touched. Like that's a genuine thing that people don't like shaking hands. They have various reasons for not wanting to shake your hand, other than them being a jerk. So if your opponent doesn't want to shake your hand, plus there's other things that like culturally exist. I know that Tom Ross shared stories about playing against Japanese players, and in that culture there are different things that happen between
different social norms.
Yeah, different social norms, like playing the game of Magic. It's not just all universal. So there are multiple reasons why someone doesn't want to shake your hand. They're not just like super salty. Could they just be super salty? For sure. But that's no reason to like try to crucify them on the internet for not shaking a hand. If you are a person who thinks that they know, like, I don't know. It just seems like a weird thing. Like, if someone doesn't want to shake your hand, like, that's okay. Like, sometimes it's okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. Yeah.
And if you are, the winner of a match, like, you can still offer to shake people's hands too, and they can say yes or no. But I don't know. It's just weird. I think people obviously want to be good sportsmen, and I think you can do that within a game of Magic without having to end it with a shake of hand. If I had a good match with someone and they didn't shake my hand afterwards, I would be like, "Wow, I can't believe what an unsportsmanlike person that they are."
Then you can spit on their playmat.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go to all my friends and be like, "Hey, that guy he doesn't understand the idea of sportsmanship in Magic. He didn't shake my hand." Oh, what else did he do during the match? Nothing. He was a perfectly fine human being, but that no handshake. It was just like the stupidest thing. I was like, what? I guess I don't put any importance in it, that there's no true importance for me in that. Like, if I were to play against an opponent and beat them, and they offered to shake my hand, I'm going to shake their hand. But if they don't, I'm not going to be like, wow, I can't believe you. So
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And like, I'm not going to say like I've never been salty or, been kind of a jerk after a match, because there's definitely been times where I've done that.
Yeah, we're all human beings.
Probably not too much lately, because I try to stay pretty even keeled, so I don't really get tilted out. Like, if I lose a match, I lose a match. You know what I mean? And if I do get mad, it's mostly because like I made a mistake myself or something like that. I'm mad at myself. But like very rarely I'm never going to get mad at my opponent because like they top deck the perfect card or something like that, because that's just Magic. You know what I mean? And even like in a situation where like if I feel like my opponent got super lucky or whatever, hey, what am I gonna do? I usually do offer the handshake in defeat, and then if they don't want to shake my hand, that's fine, whatever. But I don't usually do it after I win, unless like if I feel like it was a super like if it was a really good match and it was really hard fought, and like I could tell that my opponent's not like just crushed. You know what I mean? Like I probably would offer the handshake and after winning, but I don't know, man. Like it's not that serious,
Yeah. Classic Magic players making an issue out of a non-issue.
Listen, all right. There were no big leaks. No one recently came off the ban list, and no one was top aided.
Yeah, nobody got banned or made a video.
It was no one decided to make an ill-fated Magic stream where they decided to have thought experiments with people in the stream. Like, it was just a slow weekend for Magic, and there had to be drama somewhere, and it had to do with like like people not shaking each other's hands. You know what? I'm just gonna escalate things. I'm just gonna hug after matches. Can we just state that?
Bring
Like,
it in here.
15-minute makeout session after every match.
but
Fix this problem.
there's a lot of reasons, and it's okay. I just want to let everyone know who listens. It's okay either way. All right. You know what? Everyone should take from this: when you're playing a game of Magic, don't be a jerk. And then if you're salty after you lose a match, then that's okay too. You're allowed to have emotions, and you're allowed to be salty. Just don't take it out on your opponent or other people.
Yeah. For me, like, I'm always conscious of, like, if I lose, I don't want to take away from my opponent's happiness, I guess. Like, I don't know how to articulate that better than that. Like, if it's like a win-in match or something like that, and I lose, like, obviously I'm disappointed, but I don't want to make my opponent feel like crap because you won an important match or whatever. You know what I mean?
I think
it's like, okay, shake the hand. Yep, you did it. All right. I might say, hey, congrats. Good luck in top 8.
Right.
And then I can go be salty somewhere else.
Right.
You
go to your friends and you complain
them.
about the match you just had and how but yeah, you're allowed to like I said, you're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to feel the way that you feel after a match. No one should take that or want to take that away from you, or you shouldn't need to necessarily suppress it, control it if you're like someone who can't necessarily control that sort of emotion, gets like angry or anything like that, or violent. Like, hey, don't do that. But it is a game where there's winners and losers, and it's a game that does have some variance to it. And if you can't handle those swings, like, maybe reconsider playing Magic, or reconsider how those things make you feel and work on that. Tilting off is something that is manageable and is something that you can grow as a person and you learn to better handle. And
honestly, like, just I guess not to get off too much on a tangent here, but like you can apply
we,
that.
We are way on tangent at this point.
Well, you can apply that to different parts of your life.
Oh,
too.
for
like,
sure.
Even
I mean, the biggest tilt of all is life. Let's be real.
It's one long tilt.
That's true. But like, if you can, keep your composure, or if you learn, because like I said, I mean, I think it comes with time. It comes with maturity and things like that. Like, if you can keep your composure, there are a lot of situations just in life where you can kind of apply that. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, if like the worst thing that happens in your life is you lose a match of Magic, like, consider yourself super duper incredibly like lucky, because there are way more tilting things in my life that have happened, to me personally. So like losing a match of Magic is like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm over it.
Can't win them all, man.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of how it has to be. In regards to the handshakes, again, I like the handshake is a nice gesture, but it doesn't like determine who you are as a human being. So if people are trying to say that you are unsportsman because you didn't shake someone's hand, then they probably don't know you very well.
Also, this is totally theoretical. Like, if you happen to be at a tournament and you have like a really bad flu bug,
You don't touch anyone. Just don't be there.
yeah,
First of all,
like, say if this were to happen to you like 2 weeks ago, like, you can just let your opponent know ahead of time, like, hey man, I'm not feeling the best, so if I don't shake your hand, it's something personal.
It's
It's
true.
okay. They'll appreciate that. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for not getting me sick, guy. So,
Or alternatively, if you are sick and they are being horrible to you, shake their hands. Don't do that. That's
Teach them a
very
lesson.
that's very cruel.
I'm doing that.
Yeah. Biological warfare.
Listen to Bobby Colgrove
Yeah.
going against the Geneva Convention. That's fine. That's okay. Anyway, before we move on to competitive, do you want to give a shout out to one of our lovely sponsors, Comic Town? You can check out their website at worldofcomictown.com, or check them out on Facebook. If you do a quick search for Comic Town Gaming Center, they'll pop up and you kind of see whatever events they have going on. I know that pre-releases are actually going to be coming up here relatively shortly, so they'll be posting those events, and you can get a first crack at signing up and pre-registering for Dominaria pre-releases. So competitive. First thing we want to talk about is GP Kyoto. It was real quick. Super quick. It was the other team event. It was Team Constructed. Had a total of 757 teams, which is ridiculous. And that's not really that shocking, I guess, because if any GP that's in Japan is always huge. Because
they're crazy about
they are way into Magic, and they just don't get a lot of high level tournaments. So like people flock to them. So it was the team of Ryuichi Yamato, Yusuke Matsubara, and Kazuki Takamura took it down in their tournament. And Yamamoto was on blue-black mid-range, Matsubara was on Affinity, and Takamura was on Sneak and Show. The maximum number of 12 PT invites were given out to the top 4 teams.
Yeah, the top 4 was really not a lot of the names you would expect from the Japanese GP.
Mm-mm.
Like, you didn't really have any really recognizable pros. So, but hey, good for, everybody that top 4'd over there. A lot of, just interesting decks, too. Just real quick, we don't need to get into specifics, but for example, one of the legacy decks that top 4'd was Alurin.
Yeah.
What? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And then one of the modern decks was, I don't think it was this. Was this the same team? Might have been the same team taking turns as the modern deck.
Those guys made some bold choices.
Yeah. Hey, worked out for them.
I always feel like that is the case for Japanese GPs or what have you. They're always bold, and I appreciate it.
I really hope this is the same team. I'm going to confirm this real quick because the standard deck was Big Red.
What?
I think this is the same team.
Man, I hate that gum. But
man, you ain't a fan of Big Red? Get out of here.
No, I mean that's not true.
He said
Juicy Fruit's better though.
Winterfresh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go double mint, but
no, double mint. That's trash.
Double
Get out of my face.
I love double mint.
Welcome to the gum ranking podcast.
Yeah. That was gum ranking. Wrigley's gum ranking, real quick. Okay, all right. It was Alurin taking turns and Black Red Aggro.
Okay, fair enough.
It's still a pretty spicy team.
They miled out at the end, but there's no duplicate archetypes across the 3 formats, so everything is different. And there are a lot of cool things that you can obviously take from this tournament. It is a team event, so you might have to take it with a grain of salt. But some interesting deck lists to kind of look at, investigate, and I always, like I said, I always enjoy the Japanese GPs. I always feel like their metagame is different enough, and you do see some interesting things. Mainly, I think the important thing is in the legacy portion, you don't see any any Grixis.
Yeah, no Grixis Delver.
They just don't know how to play it over there.
Deathright Shaman is complicated.
It is.
Sometimes you just don't know what color to add.
The good old Moto misclick.
But yeah, we won't be talking necessarily a whole lot about this tournament, but I do encourage you to go to Wizards' website and take a look at the tournament results and the coverage that they had if you are interested in seeing some of the awesome decks that they played. So let's jump into the meat of the show, as it were. Star City Games, Cincinnati. Dave and I were not in attendance.
Why couldn't you guys go?
Unfortunately. First of all, no one asked me to be on a team, which at all isn't surprising. I know who I am as an individual. But I know that Mike couldn't attend, and
I actually had family in town.
And Dave had family in town.
Which is why I was not on the cast last week. Which, by the way, I'll just go throw it out now. I did listen, so I did hear the little jabs that you threw in at the end. So
we have to make sure that you listen, and that's the way we can verify by how angry you get.
Mike, if you're listening, there might be a little something for you at the end here. Also, you'll have to just, don't fast forward.
I'm glad the amount of aggression and tension we're harboring in this podcast. Great. But yeah, so we couldn't get teams together, or otherwise we're pre-booked. So that's kind of why we're in attendance. But clearly, we would have only been in the way of your team, your guys' team, clearly.
Just Xander.
Just
Xander.
His name was
Xander.
unbeatable.
So can you guys tell us like kind of like how the team formed? Was it just kind of like
So
who's gonna play?
I knew I was gonna play with Eric.
Okay.
That was pretty much a given. And then I think Xander was the only he showed interest, but our other consideration was like David Garner. But
Yeah.
that was pretty much our process of figuring out who our team was. Just like
and Bobby, you played Standard, and Eric played Legacy. So like it shouldn't have been too hard to find like a modern player.
No,
So
yeah.
I'd figure like. Especially in Columbus, I think most people would prefer to play Modern.
yeah, I had to bite the bullet and play Standard.
Play Standard, yeah.
But like
Unfortunate.
I'd just I've been PTQing before, and then like 2 weeks before played into PTQ and did pretty well, and then decided that I will play Standard. So
Fair enough.
I was very much about the blue black deck. It's really fun. So
Yeah, we were Jordan Kennedy, former host of the show, was playing the Standard seat on his team, and he was looking for a deck to play, and he was asking us our opinion. I was like, yeah, just a Scarab God, just play Scarab God. Just Scarab God deck. Just here's the top like 4 archetypes on MTG Goldfish. They are all Scarab God decks. Just pick one and go with it, man.
for 5 mana, you can untap on your next turn and win the game.
It's win the game, and that's what I told him. Like he was like, this is an FNM, and he hadn't gone to Cincinnati yet, and we were like, so you just play Scarab God on turn 5, and if they don't kill it, you win the game. Congratulations. And Mike's like, it doesn't necessarily work on that, but thank you for backing me up, Bob.
If they do kill it, you get to do it again the next turn.
Yeah, I think
It's true.
one time the whole tournament I cast Scarab God on turn 5. But I think I lost that game.
Wait, what? That's you're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah,
You gotta edit that out. That's
It was the game against Mono Red where I asked Xander if I could keep Scarab God, commit 5 lands. And he was like, yeah, you could probably keep it. Excellent. I really wanted to keep it. Crush my Mono Red opponent.
but obviously that's not how the deck works. But
Yeah.
Scarab God, very powerful Magic card, has shown itself to be probably the best card in Standard, and obviously a smart choice. I think like most of the time that I saw the Standard seat when I was watching coverage was either Grixis, Blue Black, or Mono Red, and those are the 3 decks that I saw in the Standard seat, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. So obviously we do have 2 of the 3 of you here, but we would be remiss to not mention the actual winners of the tournament, the Dream Crushers, as it were.
Lord.
Andrew Tenjum, Matthew Hoey, and Joe Bernal. Tenjum was in the Standard seat playing Grixis Energy. Hoey was playing Storm, and Bernal was playing Grixis Delver.
Bernal has apparently a 200 IQ, which is like 5 times higher than Eric's IQ.
Yes.
So he knows what colors.
So he in fact does. I don't think he messed up one time on that.
Nope. I was there.
Having watched a bit of the finals on mute, unfortunately, yeah.
Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
Or fortunately, I guess.
You didn't get to hear them rooting against us the whole time.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a pretty tough opponent to be faced with, and like we've interacted locally and what have you with Joe Bernal, and he's definitely a face if you've played in the Midwest area. So
Doesn't play that much anymore.
no, he worked for Hot Sauce and was vendoring for a bit of a time. I think that's because he became a family man and needed to bring home some more consistent bacon. But you could break away.
You always win when you do that.
Yeah, you always win when you work. It turns out.
Yeah.
But you can always break out for a team event as a fun of. But I think he's also just making out to more events in general. I feel like I've seen his name thrown around a little bit more as of recent. So
Maybe.
And
Apparently, he had the second most top 8s without a win until Eric conceded the game for us.
Yes.
So I guess like all right. So we should probably just talk about that.
Okay.
So so to set the stage, so game 3 and match 3 in the finals.
I got crushed by my match, by the way. It
Yeah,
wasn't-
they didn't even show your match.
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew Tenjum, pretty good at Magic as
He
well.
just cast a Glint Sleeve Siphon and I died. So
Yeah, that could happen.
classic standard.
Yeah, that's a weird thing that can happen in the
Yeah.
standard format.
Unblockable Dark Confidant is good.
Yeah. Turns out.
So it seems like so you guys kind of all were working together because since that was the last match. Like, what was some of the stuff you were discussing? Like was that distracting for you, or what did you like actually want the help?
Oh yeah,
Because I could see it both ways. Like I could see it where it's like, oh, leave me alone, I got this. Like I've been playing this deck all weekend. Versus, hey, this is a really important game. I'd rather have everybody's input.
Oh no, absolutely not. I asked Bobby every time he sat next to me for help.
Yeah. I was wrong
Every time.
half the time. That's why there's a reason I didn't play the Legacy deck in
Should've
that
listened to
format.
Xander.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Xander had it all. He crushed everyone in Modern, and then had all of the correct brainstorms. Like
Yes.
every time he would help Eric, he
The
was
whole
just
tournament.
100% right.
the whole tournament.
Nice.
It was wacky because he hasn't played Magic for like
In a
months.
year.
Yeah,
Like
in a
me
year.
or Xander walked in that tournament with little to no practice with our decks. So
Well,
There you go.
I mean, Burns is just great.
Yeah.
So
He also
yes.
played against Tron 4 times on day one.
Yeah.
But like,
that
doesn't matter.
perfect. That's exactly what you want.
why would you ever want to play a real deck when you can just crush people?
I enjoyed to give a shout out to his. We got to see because that was the first seat was us watching Xander versus Hoey,
Yes.
Burn versus Storm, and when he Boros charmed his I don't know the Great Owl. Oh man,
so spicy.
obviously just a beautiful play to see as a fellow Bird player. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
exactly
card
what you
has
have to
3
do.
modes.
Even I appreciated that. Like I was just like the Antonio Banderas meme. Like
As someone who has definitely used every piece of the Boros charm in my time with playing Magic, yeah, that's
very
it's very
nice.
important to know.
Every part of the buffalo.
Oh, for sure.
So-
Nothing feels better than double striking your opponent to kill them under like a ley line of the void. Oh, not void of sanctity.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're getting off track here. So
Sorry.
So back to the game 3. So I believe. So did you mulligan? I believe you mulligan, right?
No, we kept
No.
a kind of sketchy 7.
No, we kept
Okay.
it was a 6.
Was it a 6?
It was a 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you guys were in kind of a tough spot because it was on the draw. Can you kind of like walk me through that game, or if you remember it? I never remember my games. Like
So Mulligan to 6. I think we bottomed like an irrelevant Magic card because we had a 1-land Tropical Island hand with 2 Jataxian probes and 3 red cards, one being a Young Pyromancer. So he like leads on turn 1 Deathright Shaman, which is worst case scenario.
yeah.
And we have to probe twice and find like Underground Sea and like
Was it Delver or something?
yeah, just another kind of irrelevant blue card. And I'm pretty sure we get like bolted then wastelanded. So we're super far behind.
Yeah. So the commentators mentioned. So you play the tropical on turn 1,
Yeah.
which they I think correctly identified that's like that can signal a weak hand because it's not really that's like the last land you want to play. Like you
Right.
never want to play that land. But I mean I thought it was smart. Like if you did have another land. Because you probed him and you saw Wasteland. So it's like, okay, well, if he Wastelands this, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't want to lose our black source.
right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean the game just played on after that point. There was a turn where we had to daze into untapped Deathright Shaman.
Which we knew was there.
Which we knew
All
was
of us
there.
knew
Yeah,
was
So
there.
you have to pick up your only land, right, to
Yeah.
days, to just not even counter the spell.
Oh, that
just
was
to tap
for the
them out.
ponder. No, that was for a ponder. That was on
Okay, yeah.
turn 2. His turn 2, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, when turn 3 came around, he played like Angler with 1 mana up, and we had to daze it to tap his Deathright Shaman out so that we could use our Deathright Shaman on our turn for our second red source because our hand was Young Pyromancer, Lightning Bolt. So we'd have got to play Pyromancer, bolt his Deathright, and be able to block his Angler. We were like 9 at this point. And so we play our Young Pyromancer, he dazes back, and we pay for it. We have to take a Gurmag Angler hit from 9 to 5, or 9 to 4. So, because if we block with Young Pyromancer, we just absolutely lose the game at that point.
We don't have any way to like climb back into the game.
Yeah.
It's just the Pyromancer.
Yeah, and so he drains us to 2. He passes the turn with 1 card in hand,
Something like that, yeah.
and our hand is Brainstorm. For our turn, we draw, and it's Deathright Shaman.
Makes sense.
Oh.
My bad. Ignore me. That
So
was,
we're sitting there talking over like what we could draw, what we have to draw. We have to either kill the Deathright Shaman on his side, or we have to, like, if we don't draw a way to kill him, we have to leave up our Underground Sea and our Deathright to stifle his activation. So we brainstorm with our Volcanic Island, and we draw Lightning Bolt, Diabolic Edict, and Gurmag Angler. And we're like consulting over the brainstorm, where we got our 2 cards to put back, and we put back Deathright Shaman, and then put Diabolic Edict on top of it. And I go to tap my Deathright Shaman, exiling a random land from our graveyard, and I say black. We can't cast Lightning Bolt with that black mana, and
So we're like, can we cast this Gurmag Angler to eat every single spell in our graveyard?
and there were 7 spells in the graveyard, so just the most unfortunate situation.
Yeah, when that happened, like, obviously, like, we couldn't hear, like, what you guys were saying, like, at the table, but, like, it's like, okay, do the bolt, and then you could see, like, Bernal was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, nobody really knew what happened.
Yeah.
And then you guys just, like, shook hands, just like, what?
Yeah.
And, like, I saw that you had Angler, and I was just like, yeah, maybe you were, like, thinking about playing Angler, and it was just one of those things where you go on autopilot for 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I just absolutely don't remember even
I don't remember him saying
color.
black either.
Yeah, I don't remember saying a color at all.
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know. I mean, I think we've all been in situations like that where it's like, you know, a high pressure situation. Obviously, it's like game 3 of the finals, you're on camera, like, you know, you have your teammates and stuff. Like, I think it's all it takes is just one, like, split second of just like something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I've done it. Like, I'm pretty sure
we've been playing Magic for 2 days straight. Like,
yeah.
like,
that's
straight.
another thing. It's like physical, like, fatigue is a thing.
Yeah. I think it was actually my only second time on the weekend naming a color with Deathright Shaman, because you can just exile the land and cast your spell, and, like, they get it. But that was one of the times that I named a color, and it was wrong. It was the wrong color.
It's the wrong color.
Eric is also not colorblind, so
That is very true.
it's not an excuse. Either.
No, it was like not clear that like you were definitely going to win that game or anything.
No,
like
yeah,
that.
we also kept the wrong creature with the brainstorm because we kept the Angler when we should have kept the Deathright because so we can gain life back. His top 2 cards were
Scalding Tarn into Lightning Bolt.
and we died to that.
Yeah, so you could use one Deathright to add a green and then the other
one to
yeah.
Yeah, but we just didn't.
Yeah, we messed up the brainstorm, and we're dead anyways, even if I named the right color. So
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, it was a great run.
Worked out.
I was definitely
thank you,
fun.
Xander.
Yeah, Xander's a legend.
Definitely had fun rooting for you guys. Maybe next time you're gonna run the same team back. You think?
Yeah, we're probably gonna do that, and also we're gonna do if we do the team event or in Columbus.
The
Is
GP.
that the plan? Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see. So I'm pulling up the deck list for the overall tournament. Was there anything that stand out to anyone that they wanted to talk about? Now, I for your deck choices, like you said that you had just been, sort of playing blue-black, and
I played 2 Golden Demise in my main deck. So I thought there was going to be a bunch of tokens, and then I played against 1 tokens deck the whole time.
Nice. Well, that was
out.
a relevant choice. But were there any considerations to play like a different deck beforehand? But you're pretty sold on blue black. And Grixis Delver, from what I hear, is the best deck in Legacy at this point.
Noah Walker told me so I did.
Yeah, that's
That's
smart.
what I would have played. So.
Yeah.
I just think it's like weird because when we look at the Legacy results in Japan, we see 0 Grixis Delver, and then it felt like it was everywhere there.
And we don't know, like, in Japan, we only got the top 4 decks, so we don't know. Like, it might have been, like, 5 through 16 was all Grixis.
I think they posted the metagame breakdown for day 2. For
oh, did they?
The formats, yeah. I think it was
I didn't see that.
very lopsided in one of the formats. I'll have to try to find it again.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I know that Grixis Delver was, like, by far the most played Legacy deck in the Cincinnati Open.
Did you guys see anything weird or offbeat while across your 2 days of playing within your formats?
I had a super weird game where my opponent cast a Green Gearhulk on 5, and then I never had a way to kill it. But I literally just died to 3 hits ago.
That's an 8/8 trample.
I was like, oh, I guess I'm dead.
Well, this is awkward.
I played against just like regular standard decks the whole time.
Fair enough.
Standard did pretty much the same thing with modern decks.
Yeah, Zaner actually played against a Abzan opponent.
Oh my god.
Game 3, turn 1, Inquisitioned him, and seen his hand was like double Swift Spear, Eidolon, a couple burn spells. He took his Eidolon, and then...
No, I took his Swift Spear.
Yeah, took his Swift Spear, and then Surgical Extraction to his Swift Spears. So brought in Surgical Extraction against Burn. It was
Shocked
really,
himself with the Surgical Extraction.
It was like, your
take out a Swift Spear.
Your deck has like 13 removal spells in it. Like,
And then,
seriously.
then like a couple turns later, Xander draws Rest in Peace and plays it, and he's like, "Oh, you guys board in Rest in Peace."
Yeah.
That card's actually good against
your
Abzan.
Tarmogoyf deck.
Yeah, that's how you
Gets
lose to Abzan is like discard spell into Tarmogoyf, and then they can race you. And then making that a 0-1's pretty good, but Surgical Extraction's a little on the iffy
So
end.
sometimes you just get 3 bolts and you win the game. Like, maybe.
The Surgical Extraction
like
is
the other 12 bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Surgical Extraction is just one of those cards where it's like people just like put it in, and you're like, no, stop it.
That's funny.
There were like obviously this is a team tournament, so there are definitely a lot of notable names that did show up here in the top 8.
We played against some killers in the last like 3 rounds of Swiss, right?
Somewhat.
Some killers.
Oh, yeah. We had a couple of tough squads at the end there.
I mean, you have just in like the legacy slot for the top 16. You have Tan and Grace, Bernie Wen, Adam Franzi, Caleb Shearer playing Ad Nauseam Tendrils, very shocking. Will Craddock
Playing the legacy version.
Bill Caminos, Harm Fear, and obviously, those are just your legacy seat. All those people had like heavy hitters within their other seats as well. So, but that's how it is with team events. You usually have the cream rising to the top. So, it's definitely a cool thing to see, like you guys showing up in the finals and like repping Columbus pretty hard. We appreciate it, so you can be on our podcast and get us.
Well, we
lots
didn't know
of listens.
that ahead of time, but we were hoping.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you won, it would have been like better for everyone involved. But
Yes.
here we are. It's okay.
We would have had a cool picture of like you guys holding me and
While you're holding
trophies.
all 3 of the
all 3
trophies.
trophies on it.
Yeah, it would have been,
great.
pretty good. But you know what? I'm kind of disappointed that we couldn't rally a team and to go. I mean, I was.
You got to do it in Columbus. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the GP is going to be. We're going to have a team. It's going to be pretty swell. So, and then is the next Open also a team event here in Columbus?
Hopefully, team events are
that'd be a blast.
they're so fun.
Yeah, that was the best time at a Magic tournament that I've had.
Yeah. Now, something that we have discussed previously on the show is, do you guys think that there are now too many team events?
No.
Not
No.
after I played one, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast.
See, I always make that argument of like, I don't know. And I haven't played in one of these team construct events,
should.
so I take my opinion with a grain of salt. But like, it feels like it's too many of them. Like they used to have them like kind of spread out, and it's like it felt like it was special. You know what I mean? Like, or they'd have like 1 or 2 like per quarter or something like that. It just feels like it's like every other week now. It's just like I don't know.
I mean, you can play whatever format you want. You
Which
get
is
a pick.
nice.
Yeah, it's
And the
really-
tournaments are just like, there's no stress throughout the whole tournament. Except for the top 8 announcement.
Yeah.
Like that was, we were for sure thinking we got 9th. But yeah, just, I mean, win or lose every match, like every opposing team that we had, everybody was just nice and chatty. There was no salt, like
No,
ever.
not one
at the
person.
table. It
Because
was
like
crazy.
someone won and like they were happy, but then their friends lost and then they were sad. But like there was a lot of positivity. It was weird.
Yeah.
I think the main problem that we probably come to find in sort of gathering teams is like legacy. There's locally
Finite amount of legacy decks.
locally there's only so many legacy players that you can really
You have a team of people you just don't want to team with. It's awful. Like Eric.
Right. Deathright Shaman is complicated.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
So I think like that can potentially be like a pain point, but overall, I really do. I'm with you guys. I really like team events. I think that they're really They're really cool, and like you can be a player like me and get carried a lot of the time. Which,
Or like both of us.
Yeah, or like me and Bobby.
Yeah, like
Or-
he finished all his matches on day 1, and then day 2 he won 3 matches.
Yep.
Like counting the top
Easily
8.
got carried day
Yeah.
2. My inexperience in Legacy showed day 2.
Yeah, he's like playing against all these
players.
legacy masters. and
Yeah.
then just died.
Got crushed.
All right, Morgan. Columbus Team Constructed.
it's in October. I did look it
October.
up. Yeah,
When 6 you said?
yeah, 6th and 7th.
There we go. That's like
Running
the
it
next
back.
reasonable one for us to actually.
Oh yeah,
do.
for sure.
Unless you want to go to like Baltimore.
We could
Do
go
you-
to Atlanta.
Do you want to go to Baltimore?
How far is Baltimore away?
6.5.
Probably.
We're probably going with that.
When
Yeah,
is
that's a
Baltimore?
little too. that's a
April
little too far.
April
for-
20th to 29th.
Yeah.
Baltimore's April 20th and 29th?
No,
thought that was
Baltimore's May.
Oh, excuse me,
5th.
May 6th, May 5th and 6th.
Okay. Let's
A-
do it.
Atlanta
That's
is
doable.
April
28th,
20th. 29th. It's
yeah,
also the
that's
same
Atlanta.
weekend as GB Columbus.
Yeah, it's probably
which is
closer.
Oh, I'm
Team
terrible. We're
Limited.
probably closer.
Yeah.
I'll
I
be
mean-
going to that one because it's right down the street. But
And Team Limited's awesome because that's going to be Dominaria, if I'm not mistaken.
yes,
I don't think I want to play limited.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at Limited.
Yeah,
I'll play Dominaria Limited. I don't want to play like Rivals Limited, but if it is Dominaria, which I think it is, I'm pretty sure like that's near the release of
Super
Dominaria.
pre-release.
I'll play new limited format. For sure. I think I'm already
everybody's
like
on the same-
I think I'm already
same
committed
footing.
anyway to I usually play with Mike and his wife for team limited events, so I think I'm already pot committed for that.
She carries both you guys, right?
100%. Yeah.
I
don't mess
already
with,
have a team.
don't mess with Katie. She'll definitely mess you up in a Magic the Gathering
sure.
way.
Who are you teaming with, Dave?
2 degenerates from Massachusetts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's gonna have a wicked thick
Yeah, we
Boston
have a wicked
accent. He's gonna
can't
come
wait.
in that next Tuesday when we record, and we won't be able to comprehend him whatever at all. So, if that's everything for the Open, let's take a look at the classics here. I actually haven't taken a look at
all
this.
the classics.
I haven't taken a look at the standard classic, but you know what? It's actually not too bad. It's pretty diverse. In all honesty, like it's not just like all like Grixis or Blue Black or Mono Red. We do see that Mono Red did take it down. Daniel Gillette defeating Julian John. It was an aggro v aggro matchup.
There's a killer on that list. What place is he in? Jacob Webb.
Oh, Jacob Webb, yeah, notable.
Sanchez himself.
Notable
Sanchez.
Columbus player, Jacob Webb, showing up at 11th place with Mono Red aggro. We do have Kazu Negri showing up again with Green White aggro. This is a deck that he has top aided with before. He's taken some of the PPTQ winning list from a few weeks back. He is playing 4 Aether Sphere Harvester in the main, but not 3 Sky Sovereign. It's not completely ships and cats. But this is my favorite deck in Standard currently. I don't care if it's very good or not, but I really enjoy green white tokens.
It's so powerful.
It can be. Appeal Authority is like a heck of a Magic card.
Scarab God.
I definitely know that when we did the set review for that, we definitely like 100% panned that card. We may have not even talked about it, but that card can be absurd, and I appreciate
Appeal
it.
to authority.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we didn't even talk about it.
I'm pretty sure we didn't even talk about it.
We gave it the collected company treatment. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this card, whatever.
It's not. That's not as bad as Collected Company. In all honesty, like that card is like good. Like Appeal Authority is good in like one deck, and even then, it's sometimes it's trash.
Yeah, don't go back and listen to our set reviews. Just listen to them when they come out and be like, oh yeah, these guys, they sound like they know what they're talking about.
We never know
don't
what
go
we're
back
talking
and listen to them. 'Cause we don't actually know what we're talking about.
But I'm very excited about Dominaria. I'm very excited because I think it has the a chance to really shake up things within the standard format. I think like this standard classic kind of looks good though too, and maybe I really hope that with Dominaria then we get like a really truthfully healthy, diverse format. Fingers crossed.
There's like enough decks right now where it's really fun.
I believe that. I truthfully believe that.
It's not
but-
like modern where you can just play against boggles.
yeah.
Want to die.
Oh,
It
that's
turns
terrible.
through Trond.
Yeah.
I still feel like there are some absurdly powerful cards within Standard that kind of make it a little bit awkward, like your Hazards, your Scarab Gods. But I think that, at least not think, but I hope that there are some good enough cards to like push certain archetypes and give certain archetypes more answers to some of those difficult to deal with cards. So, but we'll see more of that when we get all of Dominaria, which is still a few weeks out. All right, let's move on to the Modern Classic. And it was won by Brent Clift playing Elves, beating Dylan Donegan playing Affinity.
So apparently Dylan Donegan and Peter Tubergen, they switched decks.
Yep, because we see him in 8th place playing Grixis Death Shadow.
Yeah.
And
So, hey, whatever, just play whatever deck. Doesn't matter.
just swap it, and like
both
it's perfectly
good players,
fine.
obviously.
We also have Derek Rafeisen playing Blue White Control. Brandon Dalloway playing Jeskai Control. Michael Strayanese playing Titan Shift. Jared Parrish playing Green White Hexproof. Austin Robbins playing Amulet Combo. And then, of course, we already talked about Mr. Peter Tubergen. Showing up in 9th place is a local player, Nate Snyder, playing Dredge. And then we have David Garner in 13th playing Hollow One. So we had a couple of...
He's owned that deck for more than a month now. We're very proud of him for it.
That's very impressive. With that in joke, David Garner in our local Magic community is constantly switching out the deck.
He's like selling decks,
buying decks.
He had Death and Taxes for a day. Legacy Death and Taxes for a day.
He is like the used cars salesman of Magic.
He's someone to watch too. He just like goes to tournaments and trades decks 3 times.
I think we all know that guy. Like in the local play group.
Yeah,
even if you're not in Columbus, you probably know somebody like that.
He's that guy
Constantly
in our
looking for
group.
the next big thing.
He actually sold his burn deck day 1 after the open.
After he loses, he's like, "This deck's terrible." Xander crushes.
15-3 on the weekend. Deck's bad.
That's hilarious. But from this top 8 Modern, still great. Amulet Combo is probably the most degenerate thing in this format right now. Not format, but this top 8, I would say.
8, yeah.
Only because Dredge is in top 8.
Dredge is not degenerate, in my opinion.
Nate
Not anymore, at least.
7-1-1 at that tournament and got nice.
It was a huge classic, though. That was like the biggest classic.
Capped, right?
I think
I
so.
have no idea, but I was going off
Like
the...
300 something.
Yeah, it's huge for sure. So, but I mean, that's going to be your biggest classic anyway because it's Modern and people love Modern
For some reason.
Best format.
People's format. It's the people's format.
It was 303 people. I
33.
thought there was a bigger one.
I don't think it was the biggest then. It was big though, for sure.
But
It might have capped.
That's pretty much what you could expect.
Yeah. Your Modern classic is going to be like 300 plus pretty consistently.
Yeah, if you wanted value, you would have played in Legacy.
Yeah, obviously.
What was that, 90?
It was 157.
Oh. That's a common town
half the
IQ right there.
Exactly. It was the Legacy Classic was won by Daniel Duan playing 4-color Leovold, defeating Adam Kozort playing Turbo Depths in the finals. We see Nationals participant Oliver Tomashko playing Grixis Delver, and Robert Graves playing Elves to finish out the top 4. So this is, I guess, a good time to discuss something that kind of has been swirling around many Legacy circles or people who just watch Legacy and don't play it. Is Deathright Shaman too good?
Here we go again.
I think he is.
No, yeah, it's pretty fair. You could just like tap it for the wrong color.
Yeah.
You
There's
can
always
just,
the chance that you could.
you
use
just
that.
think-
Just don't name the color that you're
Right, no,
trying
of course.
to cast your spell with.
But I mean, like that. I think that is.
Generally, it probably is too good.
Yeah.
You think? Because
It's like
I mean,
all
we're
weekend.
kind of out of
Really
our
good.
depth.
When you just like do it 2 or 3 times in the elf deck, like they're just dead.
Yeah,
Six.
I had a Deathright Shaman out and a young Pyromancer, and my opponent had to bolt the Deathright Shaman, and that's probably a problem, right? Like in a
probably
fair matchup,
shows you like the absurdity.
yeah,
of
they're
the
like,
card.
oh, I guess I'll get the Deathright Shaman. I'm like, okay, well, we still win the game.
So like next announcement, they're like, yeah, this card's banned. Like that would be surprising.
It would be disappointing. Like that card's really sweet, and you also can't play it anywhere.
No,
But
it kind of reinforces that it might be too good.
yeah,
Played a vintage, right?
yeah, probably.
Yeah, you can play boxes in Vintage. Like, come on, that's not like the good measuring
Really
tool of
interact with
cards.
any, like,
You can play
artifacts.
Thalia in Vintage.
Ooh,
There you go.
See, list of things that you can play.
You could play any card, right? Like,
Not
You
antes.
can't play. Yeah, you can't.
Can't play antes.
Play the conspiracy where your
Demonic
deck's
attorney
5
or
less.
whatever.
Oh my god, that'd be so good.
Contract from below. Can't play.
No, none of that business. But talking to two people that at least a little bit more experienced in Legacy than like I am at the very least. Yeah, it's a poor task. I think
I won the last Legacy tournament I played in.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
How
hold
many
on to
years
that
ago
for-
was that?
That was like last year.
Okay,
Not
sorry.
even
It's like
a year
November.
ago.
I lost in the quarterfinals of that
Yep.
to the old Ensnaring Bridge Trinisphere deck.
Did your opponent
yeah.
ancestral in that tournament against you though?
Yes, I got Ancestraled in like round 4. My opponent brainstormed, didn't put 2 cards back
On camera.
on camera. Totally didn't catch it.
Oh,
Oh,
He mentioned it to me like a week later because him and his friends were watching on camera after, and he was like, "I'm totally sorry." Like I recalled. I'm like, "Oh, that's good."
that seems absurd of you
Yeah.
to. All right, okay.
Did you still win that game or did you lose?
No, I lost that game.
Not weird.
Yeah. Yes. He had 3 more cards than I had.
Crazy.
Yes.
But that's it for our competitive segment. So before moving on to our typical end of the show business, do want to make sure we talk about BCW Supplies, our other lovely sponsor. You can check them out at bcwsupplies.com and check out some of the awesome collectible protection items that they have in stock. So everything from comic books to magic cards to baseballs, like they got everything that if you have something that's sentimental value or actual real money value, they could probably figure out a way to put it in a case or some persuasion. So definitely check them out, bcwsupplies.com, or find them on Facebook. So wrap up. So we have GP Amsterdam, which is going to be team limited, which is not something that we typically talk about.
fun to play, not fun.
Definitely
to
fun to
watch
play.
or talk about.
It is still Rivals limited, so who knows how much fun it will be to do either of those things. But if you are going to that tournament, you could win money at it, so that's probably what keeps you going.
There you go.
But that's going to be the only tournament that's actually happening over the weekend. So next week's show might be a little bit light or may not happen, depending on what we decide. So if we don't see you next week, we definitely will be back the week after to let you know what Mike's top 8 spellbook cards are, way past the expiration date of that being an interesting thing. And then
We could also maybe take some time to talk about Dominario spoilers, since
Yeah.
the official spoilers have been rolling out. now.
that's very true. We do have some more
we haven't really-
official legit spoilers.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it since the dump happened.
Right, exactly. So that could be a good time to dive into that a little bit and maybe have some more fleshed out ideas about what that set is going to look like. So, thank you again for listening to this week's show. If you are downloading us via Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us a rating and leave a review. It really helps with our visibility. We also have the show up at MTGcast, so if you're listening to us on there, be sure to check out some of the other awesome shows that are on there. Did you have something, Dave?
I was going to say thank you to you guys for
Yeah,
coming
for
on
sure.
to the
Yeah, no
podcast
problem.
and telling us your tale of woe.
Dave, they won money. They
did pretty well.
I can only feel
I
so
know.
bad
There
for
were
them.
splits that took place, so it
Oh,
was
yeah.
fine.
I can only
Glory
feel
was defeated.
Yeah, they didn't get trophies,
You
but
didn't have the trophy.
they still got paid.
Yeah.
All right, they got theirs. It's all right. We also have plenty of ways to contact us. If you are on Twitter, you can just send us a reply. It's Your End Step is our Twitter handle, and when you add us, it's at Your End Step. We also have an email address at yourendstep@gmail.com or Facebook. Just do a quick search for at Your End Step. We have a Patreon as well, so thank you all to all of our patrons out there. And if you do want to contribute to the show monetarily, you can definitely check our Patreon out at www.patreon.com/@yourendstep. And I believe that's everything. Thank you again to our sponsors, Comic Town and BCW Supplies. Thank you all for listening this week, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.